I'm so sorry. I keep turning these off by accident. I've got to get another table to put the shit on so I don't keep doing that. This is sacred glitter. Sacred glitter is a big, big, big tradition in sister houses outside of Los Angeles. A little less in Los Angeles, though we do participate. It didn't start here. It didn't catch on here as much. But it's on our altar. Sacred glitter is sisters come together at an exequatur ceremony or a conclave, and they each bring their own type of glitter, and they put it into a giant pot, and they add other things. Jergens hand lotion for obvious reasons, um, the ashes of some deceased sisters and deceased sisters' lovers are in some sacred glitters. Ashes of a particular bathhouse that burned down that was part of the community, things like this, all make it into the sacred glitter. And then it's, of course, used to spread on the on genitals during sexual activities. Here's a leather heart. Leather heart, because a lot of our members are part of the leather community, and we support the leather community. Here's the Tom of Finland Foundation's button. They're here in Los Angeles. We work with them regularly. We support them absolutely. Erotic art has a necessary and important place in our society. This is Sister Candy's art, because Sister Candy does the most sublime eye makeup in our history. Sorry, Sister Barance, I have to live with it, so she does really extraordinary work with her eyes. And not elaborate, fancy, just like supermodel with drag queen colors. And so she drew this because she's a very good fine artist. And so this sits up there for me, reminding me of Sister Candy's artistry. This is a glittering, bejeweled crab. It came from the veil of Sister Lee Viticus. She has moved on to Austin and is a sister in Austin, Texas. But she had a veil with all kinds of shellfish in it because, of course, in Leviticus, shellfish, it says that shellfish is an abomination and unclean, and you shall not eat them. Oh well, tell it to Red Lobster. It also says you can't be a fag, but people eat shrimp, so I'm just saying. Leviticus. Here is, I believe this is, I don't think this is sacred glitter, but this does look like sacred ash, and I'm going to need someone to remind us all who or what that is from. Sometimes people leave things that resonate on their own without a particular history. And this is an eraser. It's just a dried out, used to be rubber eraser, but here's why someone thought to include it on the altar. Remind you of anything? We honor all parts of our body and all kinds of our sexuality. Okay, with some limitations, Nambla. I'm just saying. Here's a sacred touchstone. You see these a lot in spiritual stores, and someone has bejeweled it with a happy face, because happiness is a touchstone. There are things like coins from faraway places. Is this one from Mexico? It could be in another inclusion of our Latino members. I think it might be a peso. Don't throw, if you're watching this video because you're now in charge of this and I'm like elsewhere, don't throw the little shit away. Make sure you find out where it's from, and maybe just leave it because it had meaning to your ancestors. This is a bean. We had a ceremony at one of our retreats where everyone got a bean, right? And then we put them in a martini glass of water, and by the end of the retreat, they had swollen and grown. Ooh, spiritual growth, spiritual rebirth metaphor. This one has a drawing of my face on it. And somewhere there's another one of Sister Candy, and she drew herself on it. Oh no, here's the prep pill. I believe this is the prep pill. Little plastic spiders from Sister Tragedy Ann, because, again, audacity of imagination. We used to have a rule that postulants were not allowed to put glitter or jewels on their faces as part of their makeup. They were supposed to earn the shit or something. Years later, 23 years later, Sister Candy, the founder of the house, made a motion to remove this article from our Policies and Practices manual. She explained, Sister Barbie very rightly said, you know, having to earn that meant something to me, but I trust you. I want to hear, why do you decide to take out something that you yourself had voted for in the first place? Sister Candy very wisely said, after all these years, I have observed that it does not make a nun any better or any worse as they train. And frankly, it's really just petty. It's just petty, she said. And we voted, I think it was unanimously, to let it go. These were from the time when it was a rule, and the Mistress of Novices was enforcing the rule quite particularly. Sister Tragedy Ann, who loved to get herself up and fabulous, rankled at the restriction. And so she didn't glue jewels on her. You know where I'm going with this. She didn't glue jewels on her face. She glued plastic bugs on her face. Flies and spiders. There's like a handful of them in here. There's a few other things, a pom-pom, a glass heart, because we believe in love of all people for each other, no matter who they are and what they look like. And we believe in kindness and compassion. A piece of jewelry that came from that 666 conclave. They're all in this little bowl. So please, future sisters, respect these oddities and include them in your altars as we have included them in ours. I just want to put them back in the bowl here while the camera's on, just because